Good morning, everyone. This is Bubba's 9-hole cup played in Master Division, the weekend round. In my playthrough, I'm going to show you some of the approaches which might be of high risk and you might not want to go that route. So I would recommend playing the safe way if you don't feel comfortable with my approaches. But I can guarantee you drops on all the par fives, easy eagles, and eagle on hole 7 and also possibly hole 1. So starting with hole 1 par 4, here I'm using a shamrock ball which is power 5 win 0 ball along with apocalypse level 5. I stretch out my target onto the next fairway, in the middle of the next fairway, and I adjust for max plus 10% and then push it to max. Full OP and a little curl to the left. Try to hit a perfect shot.
Perfect shot!
Now here you will see that I was a little less on the curl, so maybe if you use a little more curl or maybe add like 1 bar of left spin, you will remain on the fairway. I just entered the rough there, so maybe a little more curl and you should be fine. For shot number 2, here I made a very big mistake. I mean, I wouldn't call it like a super big mistake, but I just forgot to judge the club distance. I played it for minimum distance plus 20, but I should have played this one medium distance without any elevation. Like I said, I played min plus 20, so it was about like 3.8 to 3.9 rings, but I would recommend playing maybe min plus 35 or maybe medium without any elevation. You can judge based upon your club distance. You see this one we miss heavily on the right side of the pin. So in my opinion, medium without elevation would be good. Hole number 2, like I said during the intro, so I'm going to show you a risky approach here, which is the rough bump. The reason why I say it's risky because when you adjust the rings for the rough bump on this hole, you fall down into the bunker and then you kind of lose distance. So it is a little difficult, not like super difficult to adjust the rings, but still, if you do not feel safe with this approach, then use the regular layup approach on the left and try to roll down towards the pin. This one I played for maximum distance plus 15%, but I used power 3 ball settings. And you see we lost distance and I forgot to add like 2 more decimals there.
Perfect shot!
So we will clip the rough but very close. You see, like we clipped it very close. So if you're going to attempt this approach or you're going to take this approach, then I would recommend adding 0.2 to 0.3 decimal more after your adjustment. Hole number 3, here we have a centered tailwind, so we are going to make as much use as we can. Full toss spin and 2 bars of right side spin on my berserker ball along with my driver, which is apocalypse level 5. Adjusting this one for maximum distance plus 10%, and then you once again push our target to max. Now since we have a straight tailwind, I wouldn't recommend going full overpower. You can check from the overpower I use here, just the bottom of the ball covering the bottom edge of the adjustment ring there.
Perfect shot!
Our goal should be somewhere around like 520 to 540 yards. If you use full OP, then you have a high risk of rolling into the rough or the bunker on the top. Now shot number 2, it is a kind of risky approach. I went for an albatross attempt with the sand bump on I went for the albatross attempt through the sand bump using my cataclysm level 6. Now important thing here, if you do not feel once again comfortable with this, you just use the guardian, like 7 to 8 bars of backspin and 2 right spin on the left side and curl towards the green. I tried this one for the albatross, ball guideline a little short of the pin since we have a tailwind. And I played this one for maximum distance plus 10%. But what I do wrong here is that after adjustment, I add some extra, like maybe half a ring extra, which I should not have, because you see, we do hit the sand and we get onto the fairway, but we do not make it to the green. So if you attempt the sand bump, then do not add 0.5 rings like I did. Hole 4, part 3. Here we have a cross headwind. I'm using a luminary ball along with my Apocalypse level 5 for the drive. Full toss spin and 2 right spin, keeping the ball guideline centered onto the fairway there. And I lay back my club so that we have some room for adjusting our rings, adjusting the drive for maximum distance plus 10%. And you will highly likely go into overpower, so just make sure how many rings you go into overpower and you apply the same to your shot. I went like 1.5 rings, but I used like 4.4 or 5 rings of OP, just extra to make some more distance.
Great shot!
Try to not hit a great left because wind is pushing us towards the left, so you might end up in the rough. Great right should be okay. Perfect is definitely okay. Shot number 2, you can play this one with the Guardian like I am doing here. But I guess what went wrong here that I did not adjust the rings well, and I also hit a great shot. And I don't know like how, but I took the bounce on the rough itself. Even though the adjustment was like super heavy, I did like 1:1. I did like 11.6 rings here as well. But you will see the headwind is like so strong there that I just clipped the rough. I did not even like bounce on the fairway. So maybe just apply some OP, like 1 to 2 rings of OP. See, I applied like a smidge of overpower.
Great
And
shot!
it was a double great left. So I clipped the rough and then back on the side. Like I said in my second shot, try to use some overpower once you adjust the rings. Here I did save the birdie from the Spitfire, but I don't want you to be like in this situation. If you want to attempt a rough bump, so I would highly recommend keeping the green ring onto the rough there, but it's a highly risky approach, so I wouldn't recommend that.
Perfect
Because
shot!
from rough or bunker, you just need to hit perfect. If you don't hit perfect, then 90% it will
Birdie.
drop. Hole 5, part 3. Here we have a cross, slightly headish cross wind. I'm attempting the rough bump with the Kling Slayer ball. Now, the time was running out and I couldn't find the proper adjustment. Like the ball guide was so glitchy. See, first I find it like super through the hole here, but then I realize my target spot is like very close to the fringe there. Then I try to find multiple positions. So just to be safe there, make sure you have your yellow ring by the rough, not the green ring by the rough. So it will be easier to find the ball guideline. And adding insult to injury, I just like played this one 1:1. But the adjustment will be here maximum distance plus 10%. And I added some OP to counteract the headwind we have. We nicely clipped the rough, but we missed this one on the left side of the cup. So it was a great shot, perfect. You never know who would have been close or not. But again, try to keep the yellow ring by the rough in order to find the ball guideline in a better way. For hole number 6, I'm just going to show you the drive, and you can make any necessary tweaks depending upon your club level and the ball you play with. I'm playing Apocalypse level 5 with a Titan ball. I use 4.5 bars of top spin and 2 bars of right side spin. Then I realized 4.5 might be just too much considering the tailwind we have, so I use 4 top spin. Now you see my ball guideline is on the left side of the tree. I would recommend going 1 extra ring left of the tree there, the tree trunk. Then you go for the power slice. The reason why I say that, because you see, we do take a nice bounce, but we end up on the rough on the top. So if you aim more left of the tree, then you will be highly likely on the fairway. Hole number 7, here we have a cross headwind. I would highly recommend going with the club having most distance and toss spin combined. In my case, extra mile level 9. and I'm using a power 4 wind 5 ball. You don't need to really use it if you have a higher level driver, maybe a POC 6-7 or Thor's hammer 7-8. But to be safe, I was using extra mile level 9 and a power 4 win 5 ball, 4th anniversary, full OP, full toss spin, 1 ball right spin,
Great shot.
1 bar right spin, and max OP, and you just try to hit perfect. Shot number 2, I'm going to play this one with my Grizzly, using the max backspin and 1 bar of right side spin, making the use of the funnel there. So yeah, apply max backspin, 1 right spin. Now I try multiple spots there, multiple positions, aiming my ball guard line toward the pin. But you see, from this angle, we see that the ball guard line is aiming at the right edge of the cup. So that's what exactly happened here. I lipped out on the right edge and rimmed out. Played this one 1:1. So 7.6 miles per hour was 7.6 rings. Try to have your ball guard line dead center of the pin.
Perfect shot.
Even though after hitting a perfect, you will see the camera angle shows that we will drop, but we will just roll around. So aim
Nice
at the
shot.
center and you will highly likely drop the eagle. Hole number 8. Here, if you just want to play safe, then I would recommend maybe using the rocket or Thor's hammer, higher level Thor's hammer, and just, use all the backspin and right spin and go for the birdie. But if you would like to have a good score and, attempt to win the tournament, then maybe you can try out this approach. What went wrong here is that I hit a great shot and ended up on the rough, even though I made the birdie. But still, you always want to hit perfect. About 3.2 backspin and 2 bars of 2 bars of left spin. And this was a hefty 12/1 pull, but I would recommend going maybe 12, not 12/1.
Great shot.
See, it was a double great right there, and I ended up in the rough. Save the birdie, but you can try this approach. Maximum, I played this one 1:1. Hole number 9, it's gonna be an easy birdie, an easy eagle. For the driver, again, the driver with the most power and toss spin combined, extra mile level 9. I use all the toss spin and about 1.5 right side spin, aiming my ball guard line on the center of the next fairway. Adjusting this one for max plus 10%, and then we push it to max. Full OP and a little right curl.
Great shot.
Now the second shot I'm going to show you is going to be compatible with the wood club with most power and toss spin combined, so which would be either the Cataclysm or the Big Dog. In my case, Cataclysm level 6. Because here I'm going to attempt a double bounce rough bump, a double bounce rolling from the rough onto the fairway for an easy eagle, or maybe a potentially an albatross. So you see I use all the toss spin and adequate amount of right spin. Second bounce into the rough and onto the fairway, like my ball guard line shows there. Adjusting this one for maximum distance plus 10%. Now you see the ball guard line is clipped by the tree there, so it means we would need to apply some curl. Once you adjust, you push it to max. I use about half a ball of curl and some OP as well.
Great shot.
And you will see we will nicely take the second bounce into the rough, rolling onto the green for an easy eagle. So
Nice
whatever
shot.
approaches you find difficult, please play the safe route and take your birdie or eagle.